Welcome back, Oilers Nation. This is the Frozen Forum Podcast, episode number 37. We're coming at you right after Game 1 last night. Very, very exciting game. I don't know if I can recall a Game 1 quite that exciting in quite some time. What did you think about that game?
Stanley Cup Final. I was only following the score. A lot of this episode is going to be Nathan recounting what he saw and the excitement that he felt. I was tracking the score, and I saw a score of 3-1. I saw a score of 3-2. I saw a score of 3-3. I started watching the end of the game, end of the third period. Nothing happened. And then I checked the score again. 4-3 Edmonton. Wins in overtime. Draisaitl on the power play. Script it better for me.
There's nothing you can do. Like, when you have Mick Dry out there, it's raps. It's just raps.
It's just raps. And I don't know. I'm just checking out these stats and stuff from the game too. And man, I want to say something quickly. Future Montreal Canadian Sam Bennett looks fantastic. What a player.
Unreal. I saw on the bar at the TV, or on the TV, it said Sam Bennett's 12th goal of the playoffs. I'm just staring at the TV like, what? Am I reading this right? 12th goal of this playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Second of the game, which is
crazy. Yeah, 2 in the game as well. We're talking about players. We talk about this in the regular season, right? Is there players who rise to that occasion, and there are players who don't? And I think we could say Draisaitl and McDavid, both players that rise to the occasion. Draisaitl shows it again. But Sam Bennett, who's going to rise at Florida, Sam Bennett apparently. The rest of the team is focused on trying to stop McDavid and Draisaitl. He's going to look real good in a Habs jersey is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, next season, when we're going to be in the finals with Sam Bennett, Sam Bennett will be like the new Corey Perry, just in the finals over and over.
Yeah.
Except that curse will be a little bit, hopefully.
Well, there's no Sam Bennett curse. I mean, he's already won one.
That's true. Until this year when he loses.
Yeah. Right.
And then he can bring it back to Montreal next year.
For all of the Habs fans that are going to get mad at Nathan for wearing an Oilers jersey, Nathan's not a real Habs fan. He's half Habs fan, you know. But look at this guy putting on some other garb over here. No, we're just kidding.
I think every Canadian right now can agree. We just want to see the Cup in Canada. We do not want it in the States again. It's been 30-something years.
Oh, since we won it.
Huh? Since we won it, yeah, that's true. 32 years?
32 years.
Let's just bring the Cup home.
It's a long time.
It's been a long time. This Oilers team looks unreal. They're so deep.
You know what? It's one of those where you watch it, back to storylines, right? You look at the storyline of Alex Ovechkin back when he won his first and only 2018. It's it just feels like Connor has to win one.
I feel like it has to be this year.
If they find a way to lose this, right? They're up a game. If they find a way to lose this, right? I still think that Connor just has to win one. At some point, right? Because it's Connor McDavid. We're talking about the greatest player in the National Hockey League
ever. I think ever. He's the most.
Wayne Gretzky's better, but
in terms of stats wise, yeah, obviously. But
in terms of dominance, in terms of whatever, sure. The most skilled player of all time, one of the fastest of all time. Yeah. I'll give you that. Yeah, no, it's just, and I think that's what you saw last night. Okay, so walk me through it. Edmonton scores first.
They score in 66 seconds, right out of the gate. That arena was buzzing. The loudest arena I've seen in a very, very long time. They were, even when they were singing "Oh Canada" at the beginning, you could just feel the unity in that arena. And then Leon scoring right away, it was just unreal. The vibes are up. And just a perfect passing play straight from Kapanen to Draisaitl.
Yep.
Just a wide open net. Bobrovsky can't really do anything. He almost gets it, but it's Draisaitl. What are you going to do? Right on the doorstep, open net.
Right there. And I mean, right after that goal, right, that you have a few minutes go by, and then Edmonton takes a penalty. And what was it? It was a 4-minute?
There was no penalty. So Sam Bennett scores. Sam Bennett scores even strength, but he fell into the goal. He fell into Skinner.
That's what I saw. Yeah, you're right.
He fell into Skinner. In the regular season, this might get called back as goaltender interference. However, there was a little bit of contact, and it's the Stanley Cup Finals. They're not going to be calling that back. Sam Bennett, even though he did make contact, he was pushed. It was weak, but it's the finals. But, Chris Knoblauch goes ahead and challenges it. loses the challenge very quickly. One of the fastest reviews I've seen this entire postseason.
Yep.
Like 10 seconds. It's deemed a goal. Florida's back on the power play, and Brad Marchand has just a gift. Just no other way to put it. Just a gift with, like, 15 seconds left in the power play, and just, yeah. 2-1 very quickly. You could tell that the energy was dying down, even in the environment I was in. I was at a bar, and the energy was definitely simmering down once they got 2 quick ones.
And so that goes into, the second period, right? Down 2-1, and then Florida scores again. They score in this, yeah, right?
They score again.
They score again to make it 3-1.
3-1. Sam Bennett was left wide open. The defender was playing a 2-on-1, but he played it really poorly. He took the guy with the almost at the blue line. And then Sam Bennett is just flying in on the opposite wing, and he just walks it in, pretty much. You're not missing that if you're Sam Bennett.
Not missing that, but almost immediately after.
Almost immediately after Victor Arvidsson.
Yeah. And then that has to bring the energy a little bit back into the stadium.
Yeah.
Bring a little bit of energy to the team. You're still in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's Stanley Cup Final. You're always in the game. You've got Connor McDavid on your team. You're always in the game, right? But 3-2, and then that was it, right? Like the rest of the period, they play on. They keep going. Anything of note that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, Arvidsson went for a clapper. It was like 94 miles an hour. And just to speak to the depth of the Edmonton team, Podkolzin to Arvidsson is their second goal. You don't hear anything about Draisaitl. You don't hear anything about McDavid, Perry, any of the big guys.
I think that was always the storyline, though, against Dallas. Like in that Dallas series, Edmonton's depth showed up. Like Corey Perry looks like he's 2011 Corey Perry, which is ridiculous because that's 14 years ago.
I know.
And so you have a situation where, like, when your depth can score and do things and make plays in a Stanley Cup Final game, and you have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, right? It's really hard to lose hockey games.
Yeah.
Like just in general, right? Like just in general, like how are you supposed to? I think the stat is they've only lost 4 so far.
4 in the playoffs?
In the entire playoffs, they've lost 4 games.
Wow.
Right? And like that's we're talking about, like the best ever hockey team in a 16 win Stanley Cup. They went 16-2. And that was like Edmonton with Wayne Gretzky, right? And then next on the list is 16-4, right? Like it's hard to only lose 4 games. Like it's really, really, really hard. And obviously we were way, way too far out from an actual cup being brought back to Canada. But this team has just been so good. And even if they end, like let's say they win in a 16-5, 16-6, whatever, like it's still a ridiculous record to be able to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean,
they're playing good hockey, I guess is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they're playing fantastic hockey.
Yeah.
And who else is also playing very well? We can talk about it a bit more, but Sergei Bobrovsky. He's playing unreal, and we'll talk more about it after, but we'll go into the third period now. And now it's 3-2, and you see Kapanen give it to McDavid. McDavid has this space coming around the net, and he has 2 options. A Vander Kane right there, right on the doorstep in front of Bobrovsky, or backdoor to Ekholm. Now, if you look at the pass, it's like a little backhand saucer that looks like it's for Kane, but it was intentionally to Ekholm. Puts it over Bobrovsky's stick, over Kane's stick, through the defenders to Ekholm. 1 time, easy goal.
Nice.
3-3. This guy's vision is just insane. It's just otherworldly. Connor McDavid's nailing.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I'm looking at some cumulative charts here, and all I'll say is, like, from the data, this game looks like there was never a period of time where one team was dominating the other. Mm-hmm. Like, it looks very, very back and forth kind of thing. The lines on the expected goals are almost like identical to each other, right? Same thing with Corsi. I mean, both teams finish. Florida finishes with 4.3 expected goals. Edmonton finishes with 4.46. So like 0.13 extra expected goals. Like that's how close the game was in terms of back and forth. Do you want to talk a little bit about Stuart Skinner? I'm assuming he was...
Yeah. Stuart Skinner, one of the best games I've seen him play in the playoffs. Even though he let in 3, None of them were his fault. The first one, Bennett falls into him. The second one is a power play with Marchand wide open. And the next one is Bennett just with all the time in the world. The rest of the saves, the rest of the game, he played phenomenal. Overtime, he shut the door on very difficult shots. Like he was screened, deflections. Excellent performance from Skinner. That's what I have to say.
I found it really funny because his save percentage in this game was pretty good. There was a stat at one point in the playoffs where Stuart Skinner's save percentage in games was either 999 or below 850. Like it was one or the other. So like for him to have a good save percentage, we're talking about 920 or whatever. Was it 920? No, it's 906. Sorry, even a 906. 906, totally fine. If you've got a McDavid on your team.
Yep.
Bob's is rocking the 913.
Yep.
6 shots against.
But that's exactly what Edmonton needs to do. Like that first goal that Draisaitl got was a juicy rebound off of a weak shot. They just got to keep doing that. Just keep getting shots on him and hope for those rebounds and be ready for those dirty goals.
Yep.
Because Bobrovsky, if he's seeing the puck, he's stopping it.
Is there anybody that you thought looked out of place in the game? On either team? Or are both teams just so deep and so good that...
Yeah. There's nothing out of place.
Well, the reason I ask is because, you watch the Montreal games and you go, he shouldn't really be there, should David Savard really be playing hockey? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had everything in check.
Yeah. Okay, so Coach Knobloch right here. What do you do? What's the message going into game 2? What are the takeaways? What are the things we need to improve on to face Florida? Or is it just keep to your game and do it again?
Keep your game. This is game 1. Going into game 2, this is game 1. This is a crucial game. We got to get the job done on this first game. Same thing. Can't take our foot off the gas, which is what we saw Florida do last year. They still pulled through in the end, but just learn from Florida's mistakes from last year, even though they got the job done in the end.
Is there something in you that feels like Edmonton just might finally understand Florida and how to play against them?
I think so. It feels like even the physicality, especially from Draisaitl last night, he was getting roughed up, but he was giving it right back, which is something I did not see last year. And he's getting physical. McDavid's not afraid to get physical. He's really, can I even say about McDavid that we haven't heard from him? He's just the GOAT. He's just the GOAT on the ice right now. He's just doing everything.
And unfortunately, you can't play him more, right? He played, 22 minutes last night?
Yeah.
Sorry. I meant in regulation. His total ice time last night, 31 minutes and 20 seconds. But that's obviously including another 20 minutes of overtime. We haven't talked about it yet, though. Let's get into overtime. Obviously, overtime, for us, we're Habs fans primarily. It's a little bit less on edge, How did it feel, obviously, wanting the Oilers to win? Do you feel those big swings, those big chances? Does it feel like, oh my God, like it's super scary all the time?
Yeah. Once overtime happened, typical Florida, they come out of the gates flying. And Skinner is standing on his head. Like I just mentioned before, there were shots that, honestly, Bobrovsky was probably going to let in too. Like they were screen shots. Skinner was in the right position, had his glove in the right areas, stopping deflections. Also, the defensemen were doing a solid job blocking shots. However, it's Florida. They were just on Edmonton for 10 minutes. Like basically the first 10 minutes, it was all Florida. And then once Edmonton shuts them down for 10 minutes straight, we kind of see a momentum shift. And then Edmonton goes on this roll. And they start going. And it's back and forth. And then eventually the pressure was too much for Florida on their own end. And I think it was Luosterainen ends up getting the delay of game. And I don't know if you saw the video, but Jake Wallman goes up to him as he's skating to the box, just laughing in his face. Which is something I hope they don't use as fuel later. But Wallman goes up to him, laughing in his face. There's a clip on it. You'll see it on Twitter. Yeah, right after that, we already know what happens. Corey Perry, beautiful backdoor behind the back pass to McDavid and McDry. What are you going to do? McDavid right to Draisaitl one time, game over.
Game over. Game 1 goes to Edmonton. The big storyline coming into this series, obviously, is the fact that it's the rematch, right? Mm-hmm. This is the last time this happened was Red Wings, Penguins, 08 and 09. Obviously, that one, the Red Wings win the first, the Pens win the second. The one before that, I don't remember the one before that, but same outcome, Statistically,
It was Gretzky.
was it?
Yeah, it was Gretzky lost his first Stanley Cup final. I forget who the team was. It was the same team the next year, and he won.
There you go.
Same like Crosby.
There you go. So it's I guess all of these great players, right? If history repeats itself, truly, it's already decided. But no, well, one of the other storylines that I've been following, there's a really cool stat in the NHL called the control entry percentage, right? So it's the percent of the time that in order to get into the offensive zone, you're controlling the puck, right? Now, I don't know if you remember, but there was a huge article about this on the Leafs back like 6 years ago about how some data analyst for the Leafs found that they should stop dumping pucks in because dumping pucks in was not generating any kind of offense, and they should focus way more on controlled entries, right? So this became a stat. Going into this series, the Florida Panthers were last in the NHL in controlled entry percentage. Edmonton was second. Dallas was first. So the Dallas-Edmonton series, it's all you saw, right? No dump-ins, no whatever. And so the question is always, which one is going to win? And that's the one I'm following. It's something when I was watching the game, I'm watching Florida dump the puck a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I'm watching, obviously Edmonton has Connor McDavid, so how are you not supposed to do a controlled entry? You know, it's always a controlled entry. You could dump the puck, he still has the puck, you know, he's already there. Right? It's like that play we did in intramural hockey on, except that I stopped skating because I'm not Connor McDavid.
Next game on Sunday.
And you know we have a game Sunday and Tuesday.
Perfect. Nothing wrong with that.
And I have a spike ball on Monday. It's crazy. I'm so tired on Wednesday. The other thing I wanted to say going into this, obviously we talk about how good Connor McDavid is. Okay. We can also see this in data. I love the data side, you know this, of hockey. And if we go back to that Edmonton-Dallas series, okay, McDavid led the entire series, okay? Mm-hmm. And there are two things to this, right? So he was second in expected goals, only behind Zach Hyman. He was second in chances, only behind Zach Hyman. He was third in attempts, behind Zach Hyman and Tyler Seguin, okay? In terms of passing, he was first primary assists, first in chance assists, first in shot assists. His total expected goal contribution, I'm just naming stats that don't matter to most people. What I'm trying to say here is he's first, second, first. Okay, I saw this screenshot somebody sent. So this stat card thing, and like here, like I can show you. Like, do you see all of the blue at the top? Blue is the best, right? He's the best across the board in all of these categories, right? Some of these are defensive, right? Transition plays, all this kind of stuff. And it's not close either. These numbers are not like we're talking about like pass entry percentage. Connor McDavid is 88%. Second in the entire series, Colin Blackwell at 69%. That's ridiculous. Like 20, it's 19 points. But that's what he's doing, right? Like that's how good Connor McDavid is.
We really have not seen a player like him since Wayne Gretzky. It's just
dominant.
Yeah,
totally,
just so dominant.
Totally. Ovechkin never did it.
No, Crosby. Close, not quite this level.
I'm trying to think if there's ever a point in time where I was like, oh man, Crosby's like, just wow, you know.
2010 Vancouver, that's Olympics.
Yeah. But even that, right? Like Crosby was. It was not like, oh my God, Crosby's walking around everybody. He was just, he's the best player. It's not like he's walking around everybody. McDavid's just
makes him look like the house league players.
Before we go on anything else, I wanted to ask you. There are some Leaf fans who think that Connor McDavid's going to come to Toronto. What do you have to say to all those Leafs fans?
Where do I start with this one? Let me just say, when Alex and I talked about Mikko Rantanen back 8 months ago about him coming to the Habs, we admit it now. We were a little bit delusional, but
sorry.
Or I admit it.
We were talking about something that could happen. And if not for a trade to Carolina and then a trade to Dallas, could still be a possibility, right? Because he wasn't going to sign in Carolina. And if he couldn't agree on a number in Colorado, then he was potentially going to the free agent market. Keep going. I just want to say that because then we have a chance, right?
It was really in the realm of possibility, but Toronto, whatever you got going on right now, it's never, ever, ever going to happen. Why would Connor McDavid go to Toronto when you see what's going on. There's issues right from the top in Toronto right now. He's been in Edmonton his whole career. He's been very clear he wants to stay in Edmonton. Stick with Draisaitl. Peak delusion. Peak Leaf fan delusion right there. That's all I got to say.
Yep. Well, more than that, it's like the difference between Rantanen for us, or Bennett for that matter, because Bennett's the new subject, is that there is a 0% chance that McDavid does not sign. Zero. There is not a single possibility in the multiverse, right, where Connor McDavid does not sign with Edmonton. And this is how the negotiation is going to go. Okay? It's going to, let's say I have a check here. Okay? I say, hi. Hi, Connor. Nice to see you. Do you see this line here? It says the number. Okay? This is where the number is supposed to be. Here's a pen. You write whatever you want. That's the whole negotiation. If I were the Oilers, I would legitimately do this. Because, and I would say, hey, Connor, the maximum we can give you is $19.5 million. If you want $19.5 million, take $19.5 million. Now, if you take $19.5 million, it might be a little bit harder to construct a team around you that's going to be more competitive for you to win. We'll try. We're not gonna like sit here and try to get you down to 18.5 or something like that. If you want to go down to 18.5 and make it a little easier for us to make you a better team, that's your choice. You want 19.5? Take 19.5. Whatever you want. Up to you. Where's the team going?
I know. I mean, the organization is kind of in his hands. It's been in his hands since they hired Chris Snowball. He was the entire reason he got hired. 0 NHL coaching experience. What was the highest level he coached? Like, if I look up his career path. Also, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing his last name right. Chris. No. 13 seasons coaching Hartford. And then two seasons as an assistant coach of the Flyers.
Yeah, but more than that, 2 straight seasons where he's gone to the Stanley Cup Final. Right? Because when he came to Edmonton.
That's true. Yeah.
He's had 2 years.
2 years in a row. It's pretty nice when you have Connor McDavid as your captain, though. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Is there anything else before we go into Game 2 that you want to say to anybody? Oilers fans, Panthers fans, fans that don't really care about the series but want Edmonton to win.
If I were playing on the Edmonton Oilers right now, I would just imagine that clip of Kobe saying, job not finished, job's not finished, job's not finished. That's the mindset you have to have. That's a huge win to get in Game 1, but you have the opportunity to get another win at home tomorrow night. Get it done. It can settle some of the nerves going into Game 3, but still, you got to have that mindset. That's it. Job's not finished until you get that cup, until you're hoisting it over your head.
It is not finished, and it's going to be pretty cool to watch the rest of the series. Our plan, I think.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, is to record a little podcast. We're going to keep these at less than 30 minutes. Or after every game.
Yeah, after every game of the Stanley Cup Finals, we will be recording a podcast just to give a little rundown and see what you guys think of our takes on the...
Give our thoughts on what we watched. Game 2 is Friday.
Game 2 is tomorrow night.
Which is stupid, whatever. I still don't understand why the NHL doesn't schedule these games on a Saturday night. It's like there's like hockey night in Canada. Like, what are you doing? Anyways. Listen, before we wrap up the podcast, there are a few other things I want to talk to you about that's going around the NHL. The NHL not announced, showed the world how they're giving out a lot of the awards this year. And so there have been a few awards. The way they're doing it this year, because they're not doing a big awards ceremony thing like they've done all the other years, they are surprising players. Behind the scenes, there's some pretty cool videos of people getting surprised. It started with Barkov winning the Selke, which, sure. The one joke I wanted to get on the podcast that hopefully gets clipped later is I still don't understand how Mitch Marner came 7th in Selke voting when he couldn't even defend his own car. Like, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. But I saw one of the guys I follow on Twitter posted that, so I'll shout him out. But
I'll clip that.
I thought it was a good job.
Yeah.
Nick Suzuki had 1 second place vote, 2 third place votes. The second place vote came from, I think it was Craig Button of TSN. And the 2 third place votes, one came from PK Subban.
Yep.
And one came from one of the other Montreal reporters. I think it was Stu Cowan.
Okay. I like it. I mean, you know how this voting always goes. There's a little bit of prejudice and biased. Like,
A little bit. I think for Barkov, it's one of those where you go, if you look at his stats,
It's just
he's like, you know how we talk about percentiles, right?
he's.
His defensive percentile, 100%.
Mm-hmm. I know. You can't argue with the numbers. He wins it. He wins it.
Suzuki will win it one day.
Yeah, 100% next year.
I don't think next year. I think with that kind of award, it takes a little bit of time for the reporters and stuff to actually realize you're really good. Because people were saying Barkov was this good, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's only now that he's starting to win the award. I think you're going to see the same thing with Suzuki. He also took home the King Clancy Memorial Trophy, which is for leadership on and off the ice and significant contributions to his community. Which is cool. Awesome. Then Nikita Kucherov was awarded the Ted Lindsay Award as the most outstanding player as voted by the NHLPA. If you remember, I think Price won the Ted Lindsay the same year he won the Hart. And that was he won the Ted Lindsay and he won the Hart. So the GMs thought he was the best and the players thought he was the best. Which, who knows? We'll see if Nikita can do it as well. Something tells me he's not winning the Hart, but we'll see. And finally, today, I don't know if you saw this video.
I did.
Very sad video.
I cried.
Monahan wins the Bill Masterson Memorial Trophy for exemplifying persevering sportsmanship and dedication to hockey. Obviously, Monahan signs before the season starts with the Columbus Blue Jackets to go play with one of his best friends, Johnny Gaudreau, and Johnny's wife, Meredith, I think. Meredith. She delivers the trophy to him, and they had a little moment together because obviously, both of them have gone through something that nobody their age should ever go through, and I mean, I think we both agree that Sean was deserving.
He was definitely deserving, and if you haven't seen the video, you should go watch it.
Go watch it.
It's a tearjerker, but it's definitely worthwhile.
Definitely worth watching. You might need you need the context. Everybody in the NHL should know the context. If you're watching this podcast and you don't know the podcast, or you don't know the context, God,
the podcast.
What is this? It's too early in the morning.
It's 2 p.m.
But yeah, so there you go. I have nothing more to say about the NHL or really about other sports. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap this up? We're going to record another podcast on.
Speaking of Canadians we want to see win, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Lugan Stort, let's get the NBA championship to Hamilton. That'd be awesome. OKC in 5. That's my prediction.
5. Wow, there you go. What do you think this series is?
Oh, okay. This one's going to be Edmonton in 6. They're going to get it done, get the win in Florida, Game 6. I'm seeing everywhere online, though, everyone thinks it's going to be at home in Edmonton, Game 7. Seeing a lot of that.
I'm taking Game 5.
Yeah?
Yep. And not only that, I think this series is going to be the same as the Tampa-Montreal series. And it's going to be 3 straight for Edmonton. The Edmonton mayor is going to say some stupid thing about how they should lose Game 4 just so they can win it at home. Then they're going to lose Game 4, and then they're going to win it at home, and they're going to be like, haha, you didn't jinx anything. So, anyways. Freaking Tampa Bay mayor.
Okay. Edmonton in 5, Edmonton in 6.
Yep. We'll see.
Edmonton bottom line. That's what
bottom line. We might have totally different predictions after Game 2, but we'll see how that game goes tomorrow or today, because this podcast will not be aired until tomorrow. So tonight, Edmonton, Florida, Game 2, 8 o'clock.
That's it, folks. Thank you for making it to this point in the podcast. It's a shorter one, just covering Game 1, but appreciate all of you for coming and listening this far into the podcast. Make sure that you follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast content. Make sure you follow us there, give us a like, give us a rating, and make sure that you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. We post there. Well, we will be posting there daily once again, once we get the reels back going in, but they're going to be starting again today, I guess, when this comes out. So yeah, go Edmonton, go Oilers. We want to see them win. We want to see the cup back in Canada, and not even au revoir, just goodbye. We'll see you next episode.
There you go.